Hello everybody, hope you're well. Once again, welcome. Let's talk more with Romail Gulzar. We're all going to talk about money and lots of money. So stay tuned. Let's talk more. Matt, welcome to Let's Talk More. How are you doing?
I'm really well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me along.
Matt, before we talking about your day-to-day job and your role, just tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm from Leicester, was born here, raised here, lived in Whetstone, Broughton, Astley, and then more recently, very much in the city centre. And as you will testify, I'm sure, fantastic vibe about the city. I did move away for a very brief period, but decided that this is where my roots lie, and ultimately came back for good reason, and probably intend to be here for the longer term.
So born, brought up in Leicester, grew up in Leicester, schooling in Leicester. Which part of your favorite in Leicester?
The city centre itself is just fantastic. Be it the restaurants, be it the businesses, the people, the general vibe about the city. But similarly, sort of grew up in villages, and there is attractions to those sort of local community spirits and things like that. So, yeah, I couldn't say necessarily a favourite, but if I was pushed, possibly the city centre.
What have you seen best in Leicester?
The best in Leicester, so as I've sort of touched upon there, I suppose it's really looking at, the community spirit. It's obviously very ethnically diverse, which is fantastic. The different sort of cultures that all come together. And just generally, it seems to be, from my perception, a good place to live and one from which to do business.
What's your favourite food?
I've got to say curry, haven't I? Absolutely. And I think it is. I'm not just saying that for the benefit of you here, Romail, but yeah, absolutely a curry all day long.
Just tell us a bit about Mattioli Woods.
So Mattioli Woods is a wealth management company. So what that means is we're looking to assist clients in their financial planning objectives, at whatever stage of life that may be. So Mattioli Woods is a company. We started in 1991, so we're due to celebrate our 30th anniversary next year. It was started by Ian Mattioli and Bob Woods, who are still very, very much part of the business today. It started in a garage, believe it or not, and it's now evolved into a company with around about 10 offices throughout the UK. And we just sort of continue to grow, and the way we're looking to continue to grow is just by meeting new people and seeing if we can assist them in what they're looking to achieve.
Mattioli Woods, very big fan of sports. They sponsor Leicester Tiger and sponsor many events. What's your favourite event you've been so far?
I've got to say, Romail, it would be the Leicester Curry Awards itself. So unfortunately, there was a postponement due to the pandemic this year, but roll on 2021 when the pandemic's a thing of the past, and we can hopefully pick up where we left off. But yeah, I've got to say the Curry Awards as a huge advocate for curry myself.
What's your favourite sport, Matt?
I'm very much into football. So despite being a Leicester lad, I must confess here, I'm a Blackburn Rovers fan, and we'll go up there quite regularly to go and watch them. So yeah, they're not necessarily the best, but the passion lies there. And then to a lesser extent, golf.
Coming into everybody, all the pandemic, COVID-19, what's impact personally have in your life?
I would say I'm a relatively sort of social person in general, and that be it through work, through sort of networking and meeting good people like yourself, or socializing with family and friends. It has been difficult, and it's completely different to how things were previously. But to be honest, there's been benefits to it, and sort of having a little bit more time to sort of, think about where you are and perhaps pick up some new hobbies indoors and reconnect with people perhaps you've lost touch with. So, on the whole, there's benefits to be taken away from it, I suppose.
How do you describe Matt yourself?
Generally, I would say I'm a very positive, upbeat person. As I mentioned, very, very sociable. Love meeting new people, and I've been lucky enough to meet you and the team on a number of occasions. So yeah, really just have generally quite a positive outlook on life, and always trying to sort of strive to better myself effectively.
We're talking about, the show is called Let's Talk More. So let's talk about your journey and your job, and you work with the Mattioli Woods past few years, and just share about when you started and what's your role.
So I've been with Mattioli Woods in totality for around about 6 years now. Historically, I started out as a client relationship manager, so that's dealing with day-to-day administration. So each client will have a dedicated point of contact, which is quite unique. From that point on, I then took my financial advisor exams and became a wealth management consultant. So a wealth management consultant, in essence, will look to achieve a client's financial objectives. So they may be a business owner, an individual, and what they'll often come to is they will look for some form of financial advice to get them where they need to be. And it's my job to effectively steer them through that journey.
Mattioli Woods is an award-winning company, and they're just next year they're celebrating 30 years. And tell us how our team is excited in the whole.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously into the new year, but there's already sort of rumblings that it's going to be something that we definitely will be celebrating, and it's great. Bob Woods, Ian Mattioli are still part of the business, so I'm sure they're very excited and proud of what the business has become today. So, yeah, I'm sure there'll be more in the pipeline in terms of celebrations we'll be looking to undertake as part of that.
That's great. Well, word come wealth management. Out there, some people they think that you need to be very hierarchy, you need a lot of money to be part of it. Just tell us a bit, describe what the wealth management is.
So wealth management doesn't necessarily need to be the ultra high net worth. It's more looking at people who perhaps are trying to maximize what they have. So, it might be somebody perhaps at the start of their journey looking to create wealth and perhaps, support them in later life. Similarly, you may get somebody who perhaps is at the other end of the scale where they're maybe thinking about dependence or, trying to sort of work about how they may potentially exit a business in the future. So there isn't one fixed particular sort of client. It's always worth having a conversation and seeing if there's something that we may be able to assist you with and trying to achieve where you're looking to get to effectively.
What's the number wise if people out there watching this and if they don't have millions on their back, but they have a small investment? What's the number wise they can come and speak to you about?
It's a very difficult question, that, because it's more looking at what they're looking to achieve. So I wouldn't really like to put a number on something. I would more say if they feel that they might need a steer from a financial point of view and, they have a degree of perhaps wealth that they're looking to make work harder for them, it'd be worth having the conversation. So I'd be a bit reluctant to say put a figure on it, because I would be more led by the client relationship and what they're looking to achieve as opposed to sort of monetary values.
There is any worried COVID-19 investment is in a risk?
No, and that's the reason for that is ultimately why clients will use our services, and that is because we are there to provide that peace of mind for them. So obviously markets have been more volatile than ordinary times, but what we will look to do is approach our clients to reassure them through any sort of turbulence. So there's always risks involved, but obviously that would be set out with a client at outset. But providing we're looking at a longer term strategy and we're working alongside the client, we wouldn't have any concerns unless, there was a change in their circumstances. But obviously we would then tailor the advice to that accordingly.
Talking about wealth management, financial investment is quite very serious and same time is quite personal as well. It's very easy to approach people and talking to their financials.
Yeah, I think that is down to me as a consultant to make sure a client feels very, very comfortable in disclosing what information that they feel comfortable disclosing. Obviously, the more information we've got, the more tailored the advice can be. But I think the perception with financial advisors or consultants historically has been, very rigid, and it shouldn't be like that. It's really got to be personal, because we're not just looking to meet for, a one-off. We look at very long-term relationships. So it's so important. There's the rapport there from day one.
What's your youngest client you have looking after right now?
My youngest client would be somebody who's 21, who has an exceptional sort of outlook, really, really great sort of plans for his career, and so very much at the start of his journey, but is looking to sort of get more actively involved in wealth management and wants to understand how that can work for him. So it's a bit of a hand-holding relationship in the early days till he gets comfort, but it's going to be fantastic to work with that individual, hopefully for the rest of mine or his life.
So that's clear the message. So wealth management is not just only kind of people who settle in the business, who have a kind of mature citizen, or they kind of basically they can start age from 18.
Yeah, I mean, we will deal with clients, children of clients. So looking at things like junior ISAs as an example, if, perhaps parents have wealth which they're looking to distribute to create a legacy for their children, it really is all stages. We have 4 generations of clients, other consultants within the business do have. So again, there's no fixed model for a particular client. It's always worth having that conversation, and we'll give you a transparent view on whether that's something, we're going to add value to you effectively.
What's your message out there, especially to South Asian businesses? They're watching this, and how, because wealth management, because some of them come very traditional background, they don't have much academic background, they're not much lack of the informations. How you can approach them, and what's your message to them? They can get involved with Mattioli Woods.
So I mean, we've talked a lot about investments today, but ultimately, what we will say to clients is that there's no obligation to use our investment products. What we'll often see is, let's say, for example, a business owner may own a commercial premises from where their business works. It's looking to actually maximize that. So there's ways that can be purchased within, say, a pension scheme arrangement, where it's a way of releasing funds back into the business, and that could support liquidity, growth, etc. And also there's tax efficiencies if that's a driver for that individual that they may wish to explore. So it's for us to guide them and say it's not necessarily there's one size fits all, because there's absolutely not. Each individual circumstances will be unique to their own objectives.
Matt, how you can describe Mattioli Woods?
Mattioli Woods, a fantastic company, and I genuinely mean that. Just obviously I've been there for a number of years now, and I see no reason why I would ever look to leave. Bob and Ian, testament to them, have always kept a real sort of close-knit sort of relations with staff. It's a younger dynamic in the company, and we're always so encouraged to make sure we put clients first. So the extension of the business goes to our clients, and a really genuinely fantastic company. And again, if someone was looking to pursue a career in wealth management, I'd be a huge advocate for Mattioli Woods as a port of call to look down.
We touched with a career, and you said early on, you have to go to the university to come to the joining the wealth management team, or what sort of education basic required?
No, so it's not absolutely an essential need to have a degree. What you would need to do is study exams, which is the Diploma of Financial Planning exams. That's as a sort of minimum requirement. That is something that, again, as part of Mattioli Woods, that encourage perhaps administrators to look down that route potentially. And then beyond that, there's additional exams you can take to receive chartered qualifications, which is the highest standard in terms of financial advice.
Matt, thank you for speaking to us, and have a great Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you so much for your time, Romail, and best wishes to you and your family as well.
I hope you all enjoy meeting Matt. I will come back to you next week with a new guest, new life story. Keep watching. Let's talk more.